A sudden burst of speed from a grizzly bear is enough to shift the rhythm of an entire forest. It does not simply pursue a target, it draws everything into its field of pressure. Its strength lies in a massive frame, powerful shoulders, and a highly refined sense of smell. When the grizzly bear turns its territory into a proving ground, what creature would choose to stand its ground? Across the valleys of North America, herds of elk move in groups through open grasslands, pine stands, and the edges of cold rivers. An adult elk can weigh around 700 pounds, strong and alert enough to force any predator to rely on a combination of power, patience, and an understanding of terrain. In late spring, the grizzly bear uses its keen sense of smell to scan open pine areas, where elk mothers often hide newborn calves, weighing about 30 pounds. As the trail leads closer, the grizzly accelerates in short bursts, creating pressure that forces the mother to change direction repeatedly to shield her young. In that moment, the difference in strength and experience begins to shift the balance. By summer, adult elk reach peak condition and can run up to about 45 miles per hour. At this stage, the grizzly does not depend on long-distance speed. Instead, it guides the target toward natural obstacles such as fast-moving water, slick gravel banks, or narrow forest paths. Uneven terrain reduces the elk's speed advantage, while the bear's swimming ability and claws, reaching about 4 inches in length, help it maintain close pressure. The encounter unfolds over only a few tense moments. When the elk loses its rhythm, the grizzly gains control through strength, position, and timing. An adult elk represents a significant energy source, capable of providing over 100,000 calories to sustain the bear for several days. The grizzly often stores this resource beneath soil or vegetation, preserving it for later use. In a demanding, natural world, success does not belong to the fastest alone. It belongs to the one that understands terrain, conserves energy, and adapts its strategy at the right moment. The most intense confrontations for a grizzly bear do not always come from prey or rival predators, but from its own kind. When resources tighten, the breeding season begins, or access to food is contested, a species that typically lives alone can become highly assertive. In that world, strength is not only used for hunting, but also for defining boundaries. When a female enters the mating season, a quiet territory quickly shifts in rhythm. Two massive males rise onto their hind legs to display size and project dominance through deep vocal signals. When neither yields, the encounter escalates into a forceful contest of strength. They drive into each other with immense force, using jaws capable of exerting around 1,200 pounds per square inch to secure control, re-establish hierarchy, and push the defeated rival away from the core territory. In Alaska, at natural bottlenecks such as Brooks Falls, dozens of grizzly bears gather in one place. This is one of the rare moments when this solitary species tolerates shared space, yet order is maintained through underlying tension. The largest males hold the most strategic positions, where salmon are most likely to leap within reach. A younger or weaker bear that crosses these invisible boundaries, whether by accident or intent, can quickly trigger a defensive response from the dominant individual. The pressure rises even further when a mother is raising cubs. A female weighing around 400 pounds may face an adult male nearly twice her size. She raises her fur, blocks the approach, and continuously guides her cubs away from danger. In that moment, maternal instinct turns the difference in size into a determined defense. In North America, true power is always paired with caution. The encounter between a solitary grizzly bear and a pack of gray wolves is one of the most intense displays of balance in the wild landscapes of North America. When a wolf pack has just secured a large elk, the scent of food quickly spreads across the valley, drawing a grizzly bear from miles away. It does not approach in secrecy, but walks directly into the center with the presence of a dominant force. The wolves immediately spread out, keeping their distance while applying pressure from multiple directions. Younger members move at the front to distract, while experienced individuals quietly assess openings along the flanks. To defend its position, the grizzly lowers its center of gravity, settles over the food source, and forceful defensive motions capable of immense force. The wolves recognize the risk and choose to pull back, waiting patiently to preserve their strength. The balance shifts when survival priorities turn toward protecting dens in late spring. Emerging from hibernation with depleted energy, the grizzly may approach wolf den sites in search of vulnerable young. With no option to withdraw, the pack responds with coordinated intensity, forming a disciplined defense to shield the next generation. In the end, the larger animal senses the rising cost and begins to retreat with caution. In the wild, this encounter rarely produces a clear winner or loser. It reflects a precise balance shaped by nature itself. North American forests are layered with damp leaves and patches of fresh grass in early summer. This is also when many newborn fawns are hidden deep within dense brush by their mothers. Not yet strong enough to run, they rely on remaining motionless, keeping their bodies low and minimizing scent to avoid attention. Yet the grizzly bear is built to detect even the faintest of these signals. Its ability to track scent on the wind combined with short bursts of speed reaching about 35 miles per hour, allows it to close distance quickly. When danger draws within a few feet, the mother often rushes forward, creating noise or shifting direction to draw attention away from her young. Even so, an experienced grizzly rarely abandons the primary trail. It continues to investigate berry thickets, fern patches, and fallen logs, where silence itself can become the strongest clue. When the trail leads to the hidden spot, the bear's experience and acceleration create a decisive advantage. The encounter concludes within moments. For a mother grizzly raising cubs, that outcome represents not just a meal, but a vital source of energy for the demanding season ahead. From late June to early September, cold rivers transform into vast corridors of survival. Millions of salmon travel hundreds of miles upstream, carrying vital energy from the ocean back into the forest. For the grizzly bear, this marks a period of hyperphagia, a phase when the body demands the highest possible daily calorie intake. Before winter arrives, each individual must build a layer of fat reserves up to about 4 inches thick beneath the skin. At waterfalls, patience becomes a test of instinct. Grizzlies claim strategic positions where salmon are forced to leap against the current. They remain still for long periods, eyes fixed on every movement in the rushing water. When the moment opens, a swift motion of jaws and forelimbs turns patience into survival energy. As salmon numbers decline, grizzlies leave the falls and move toward shallow streams and low banks. They often focus on salmon eggs, a dense source of nutrition that helps maximize energy late in the season. What remains along the riverbanks continues to support birds, insects, and enrich the forest soil. In the natural world, the grizzly bear does more than feed. It carries energy from the ocean back into the heart of Alaska's forests. When North American forests sink into the cold of winter, the grizzly bear does not endure the season through visible strength in the open valleys. It survives through months of quiet preparation. In late summer and fall, its body steadily takes in berries, roots, salmon, and other high-energy food sources. As snow deepens, the grizzly seeks shelter in ground dens, rock cavities, or wind-protected mountain slopes. In that darkness, its heart rate can drop to below 19 beats per minute, allowing the body to conserve every unit of energy. For a mother bear, the winter den also becomes a place where new life begins. Cubs are born in silence, kept warm by the presence of their mother. When spring opens the forest once again, the grizzly returns as a powerful symbol of dominance. Dust rises across the ground as the hyenas begin tightening the circle around their target. They rely on endurance, powerful jaws, and pressure coming from the entire clan. As the prey loses rhythm, the margin for survival grows smaller. If another predator moves in to compete for the opportunity, the tension escalates immediately. Once the entire hyena clan joins the encounter, who can still hold the advantage? Across Africa, African wild dogs are masters of speed, discipline, and coordination. Each individual usually weighs only around 70 pounds, yet when the entire pack moves together, they become an astonishingly persistent hunting force. In many recorded observations, their success rate approaches nearly 80%, driven by their ability to anticipate movement and sustain pressure across long distances. But on the savanna, success is never guaranteed. Spotted hyenas often appear as opportunistic rivals, especially after the wild dogs have completed an exhausting chase. Once two or more hyenas move in, the balance of weight, endurance, and boldness begins to change. The wild dogs understand that preserving formation can sometimes matter more than defending the food in front of them. From more than 50 yards away, the hyenas gradually tighten the pressure. They do not rush forward in chaos. Instead, they advance in stages, spreading out while testing the reactions of their rivals. Their rough calls echo across the grasslands, while shifting angles of approach force the wild dogs to reconsider every step backward. If the formation reveals even a small opening, the hyenas immediately gain a psychological advantage. The wild dogs often choose to retreat, conserving energy for the next hunt. In nature, wisdom does not always mean holding on to an immediate victory. For wild dogs, retreat is not defeat. It is strategy saved for another chase. Across the African savanna, leopards and spotted hyenas do not merely share the same territory. They are direct rivals, often competing around food, shade, and control of space. The leopard survives through silence. A large individual can weigh around 150 pounds, but its true advantage lies in climbing trees and keeping its food above the ground. After a successful hunt, a leopard often carries its food high into the branches to avoid drawing the attention of lions and hyenas. At times, that safe point may be more than 20 feet above the ground. But the scent still drifts with the wind, drawing spotted hyenas closer. For the leopard, this is the moment for quick calculation. From several miles away, a hyena can follow scent signals across the grasslands. It does not rush. It moves slowly, circling the base of the tree and watching every reaction from above. If there is only one rival below, the leopard may give a low growl, hold its position, and protect the advantage of height. But when several hyenas appear from different directions, the balance shifts immediately. The leopard often retreats deeper into the canopy or leaves the area to avoid unnecessary risk. In the wild, staying alive can sometimes matter more than keeping a meal. The conflict between lions and hyenas is not merely a struggle over food. It is a contest between individual dominance and the pressure of the pack. An adult male lion can weigh more than 420 pounds, giving it a clear advantage in direct confrontations. But spotted hyenas do not rely on strength alone. They possess remarkable social intelligence, persistence, and a bite force estimated at nearly 1,000 pounds per square inch, making every close encounter a careful calculation. After a lion pride finishes a long hunt, hyenas often emerge from the edges of the grasslands. They do not charge in recklessly. Each individual keeps its distance, spreading out from multiple directions, while using repeated calls to divide the attention of their rivals. The tension steadily begins to rise. One moves closer, another circles from the side, and together they create pressure that is difficult to ignore. The lions understand this strategy well. The male may step forward directly, using his size and posture to force the hyenas to slow their advance. Meanwhile, the lionesses hold positions around the food source, coordinating through close spacing, steady movement, and silent signals. Neither side wants to waste too much energy, because on the savanna, every prolonged standoff carries a cost. In the end, victory does not always belong to a single symbol of power. Sometimes the lions maintain control. At other times, the sheer numbers of the hyena clan begin to shift the balance. Buffalo do not need speed to create authority. Weighing around 1,500 pounds, with a solid build and strong curved horns, they are among the most difficult opponents to approach on the savanna. When the herd stands close together, the formation becomes like a living wall, where each individual helps protect the rest. But from a distance, spotted hyenas read the confrontation in a completely different way. They are much smaller, but they do not enter the standoff through individual strength alone. Their advantage lies in numbers, endurance, clan calls, and the ability to coordinate constantly through every approach. As the distance gradually closes, the pace of pressure begins to rise. A few individuals press from the flanks, while others maintain pressure from behind, forcing the buffalo herd to keep shifting its formation. The hyenas do not rush into a direct confrontation. Instead, they patiently test each reaction, searching for the moment when one individual becomes isolated. In well-coordinated hunts, their success rate can reach around 70%. As the circle of pressure tightens, every small opening becomes a test of survival. And across the unforgiving savanna, victory sometimes belongs to those who know how to turn unity into strength. On the exposed plains of the Serengeti, the Topi has a little cover to trust. An adult can weigh around 300 pounds and sprint at speeds of up to 50 miles per hour when danger closes in. On the exposed grasslands, sharp vision becomes the first line of defense against even the slightest movement. But midday on the savanna has a way of weakening that advantage. Sunlight pours down, heat shimmers across the air, and every stride begins to drain energy. Downwind, several miles away, a lone hyena follows a fading scent trail. It does not rush forward. Instead, it studies the distance, the direction of movement, and the moment a Topi drifts too far from the herd. Dust rolls beneath pounding feet. The Topi changes direction again and again, trying to preserve a safe gap. Behind it, the hyena maintains pressure through endurance, stretching the pursuit minute by minute. If more clan members join the chase, the pursuit widens, and every escape route grows narrower. For a young Topi, the challenge becomes even greater. The mother pauses, using her horns and steady stance to create a zone of protection around her calf. But when the distance continues shrinking for too long, the balance slowly begins to favor the hyenas. As the wind softens, silence gradually returns to the grasslands. In the Serengeti, survival does not belong to speed alone, but also to endurance and timing. Hyenas are not merely opportunistic scavengers of the grasslands. They are persistent strategists, surviving through coordination, patience, and collective pressure. Weighing around 140 pounds, their clans can grow to dozens of individuals. They communicate through vocal signals, scent marking, and an extraordinary memory for territory. In the wild, survival often belongs to those who know how to unite, wait for the right moment, and turn even the smallest opportunity into the strength of the entire clan. Across the dry ground of the savanna, the rhinoceros stands like a living fortress. A large individual can weigh around 3,000 pounds, carrying a horn nearly 3 feet long and skin thick like a natural shield. But even that strength has its limits. Poor eyesight makes it difficult to detect subtle movement, especially when danger remains still at close range. The hyenas understand this well. They do not choose direct confrontation. Instead, they spread out, change angles of approach, and constantly test reactions. Every movement forces the rhinoceros to turn and reposition in order to keep its calf within a safe zone. This is not a battle of raw power, but a test of patience. With zebras, the rhythm becomes entirely different. An adult can sprint at nearly 40 miles per hour, but speed only matters while the herd maintains formation. From the outer edge of the grasslands, the hyenas wait for one individual to lose rhythm, then take turns applying relentless pressure. And across the savanna, only one harsh lesson remains. Some animals survive by standing firm. Others survive by never losing formation. As the encounter comes to a close, the forest no longer holds its original calm. The grizzly bear moves away slowly, as if every boundary has just been reaffirmed. The remaining creatures understand that power can sometimes lie in presence alone. Nature continues to operate through instinct, distance, and caution. Make sure to like and subscribe to follow more stories from the wild